Alright, so boom. Y'all remember Lil Tay?
Ooh, Lil Tay out here bullying in the trap house. Me and my Billy buzzing on a whole lot of gang shit, and we be moving bricks. I'm only 9 years old, but I be flexing your mama's rent. Fuck the Smith and Wesson. We keep a big chopper on us on the streets, bitch. Message to all y'all broke ass haters. Y'all ain't doing it like Lil Tay. This is why all y'all fucking haters hate me, bitch. This shit cost me $200,000. I'm only 9 years old. I ain't got no license, but I still drive this sports car, bitch. Your favorite rapper ain't even doing it like Lil Tay. You're wearing Gucci from head to toe. Y'all can't afford this shit. This shit costs your whole rent.
Yeah, that Lil Tay. Crazy to think that was 8 years ago. Time flies, but that's neither here nor there. Spent her time on the internet bragging, flexing on folks claiming to have money that other people did not have. And she was involved in like a triangle beef with Whoa Vicky and Bad Baby. I don't know all the details, but these white girls were going at it.
You're so loud and you're so big and bad. The fuck, always doing shit on camera. Big dude, so
It's
now.
all for the kids.
Okay, then do it then. Then do it. Look at you,
Wait,
you're a pussy.
sorry.
You see me a picture, you ran. I was right next to you, you're a
Bitch,
pussy.
you trying to
Okay,
fight?
but
Yes,
Tell him, nigga.
Now, why is this relevant? Well, last week, Lil Tay turned 18 years old. And, well...
So it's my 18th birthday on July 29th, and every mail has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
First off, every male?
Y'all already know what the fuck going on. Lil Tay's dropping the youngest link of the century. Mark your calendars tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. And nobody, including my family, including the grown-ass haters, is gonna stop me. You know why? Lil Tay rich and finna get richer, bitch.
You're probably asking yourself, what is this link that she talks of? You know exactly what the link she's talking about. OnlyFans. And well...
Y'all already know what the fuck going on. We just broke the link record with the youngest link of the century. $1 million in a couple hours. I'm still the youngest one doing it. For all the grown-ass haters who've been hating since I was 9 years old, look at me now. What y'all got to say? Y'all been doubting me for 7 years. You can hate on me all you want. You can't say Lil Tay ain't winning. So for everybody out there, do whatever the hell you want with your life. Who gives a fuck what people have to say? And remember this, Lil Tay rich and finna get richer. Oh yeah, and thank you to all my supporters who have pre-ordered since 2018 or whenever you did.
So first off, what Lil Tay is alleging here is that she's made $1 million in 3 hours off of the creation of her OnlyFans. But the most alarming thing here, before we even get into anything, she said at the end of her soliloquy, thank you to her supporters who had pre-ordered since 2018. Do you recognize 2018 she was either 9 or 10 years old? I didn't even know you can pre-order on OnlyFans. I literally had to Google this after I downloaded the video and said, wait a minute, what is she talking about pre-order? Apparently, when somebody is launching their OnlyFans account, you can set up a situation where people can pre-order because there's no content yet. Nothing is launched, it's not official. So you mean to tell me there's a possibility that there were people who were waiting from when this girl wasn't even double-digit age yet for her to now become legal so you can view explicit photos and video? What is wrong with y'all, bro? I've said time and time again, despite how much we can roast and spotlight harlot activity, it falls on the damn simps, gooners, and y'all creepy ass dudes that continue to finance this lifestyle. And furthermore, you got to really be a deranged, sick, demented, twisted human being to sit there and essentially look at the clock, bide your time for 8 years for somebody to then turn legal. Because remember, this ain't the first time that this happened. People had a countdown when Kylie Jenner was turning 18. They had a countdown when the Catch Me Outside girl was turning 18. And her, Bad Baby, she had initially set the record for the most OnlyFans subscriptions, or I should say revenue, made upon the launch of a profile when she first turned 18, and she had turned $1 million in, I believe, 6 hours a couple of years ago. And I can promise you, the same people who subscribe to hers is the same people who subscribe to Lil Tay's. Now, you got to take this with a grain of salt, because Lil Tay is a known troll, so it's highly plausible this can be inflated numbers. Maybe it's not even legitimate. Perhaps she took a screenshot from somewhere else. But all that being said, there's no denying that she's not the only case in which this happened. When somebody freshly turns 18, you saw it in the case of, I believe it was the Bop House. I don't think Shorty had just freshly turned 18. I don't know her name, but I believe she's the blonde of the group. As I was making the video, I believe it was on Streamer University, and then they said they was gonna start their own Bop University. I came across information regarding one of them who was originally, I believe, an editor or a camera woman for the main girl of the Bop House. But that's neither here nor there. She had launched hers. All of a sudden now she's bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she looks like she's in high school. Lil Tay has the exact same face she did when she was in elementary school grade, not even in junior high yet. She looks literally the exact same. And if you want to say she's aged a bit, it's like freshman of a high school. There's no way you can look at this person and say, well, hey, she's of legal age now, so it's all good. Come on, man. You know exactly what the fuck going on here.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all?
Truly, the authorities need to investigate and apprehend any person who pre-ordered to her OF account. And I know there's probably gonna be a few of the people who went and signed up and they're gonna think they can find a gray area, because let's just say if she just so happened to have launched it for the pre-order situation when she was 16, 17, somebody can mess around and say, oh, well, technically there's no national age of consent. So she's 16, it's legal in this state, right? It's 17, it's legal in that state, but it's supposed to be 18 to be able to even get the access to the website regardless. And furthermore, you gotta take into account, she said out her own mouth, 2018, there were folks who were going and pre-ordering. Now, we don't know the legitimacy of those claims because, again, she's a known troll. But nonetheless, it's simply the thought process that somebody could have been sitting here plotting and planning from when she was 9, 10, 11 years old. OF boomed 2020, 2021, 2022. So let's just say that was the case then, right? She's what, 13, 14, 15, and you had folks that were sitting there plotting. You think people were giving her all of these doggone followers on social media simply because she was funny and she made content that people really went and enjoyed as the time continued to move forward? Because remember, she was in a situation in which it wasn't necessarily a scandal, if you will, but she had made claims that she was getting exploited by her father and her stepmother. All of the money that she would have made by way of social media, she didn't see any of it. It was her folks who was pretty much, and her handlers, who was pretty much exploiting her to go out there and make content where she was essentially a victim in all of this in the story. And then here you are now approaching adulthood, and the first thing that you find yourself going towards is OF. She had dropped some music and things of that nature as I was scrolling through her Instagram, but still, you take a look in those comment sections, dating a year, 2 years back, you see a multitude of dudes commenting, oh, OF loading, wait until she turned 18, OF on the way. Albeit you could sit over here and be joking, but you got to think about what psychologically you're putting into these little girls' minds, because I've said time and time again, it's kind of crazy to think that the first thing that goes through shorties' minds is the moment you turn 18, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go and launch this account. But actually looking at it from their perspective, why wouldn't you? You become a millionaire overnight. Shame has completely been lost in society. It's almost a situation where it's a win-win. There is no lose, because what's primarily on your algorithm? It's getting pushed towards you, and you're not seeing the downside because you ain't seeing folks who in their 30s and 40s and went into the industry and hearing about the horror stories, because that's out of your mind.
God, where that dick got, nigga? I wanna fuck!
You see it online every single day. Drugs, sex, alcohol, and ungodly amount of money that you're able to go and earn by way of this lifestyle. So are you shocked that you have the youth that essentially are yearning and counting down the days until they make it to 18 to go and exploit these freaky, creepy ass dudes that's out here that's financing this lifestyle? Because call it what it is. There's certainly a good percentage of these females that definitely are signing up to OF, but the bulk share, if you take a look at the statistics, it's well over 90%, dare I say 99% in its totality, who are the subscribers to these accounts. And the breakdown that Lil Tay shared, 500,000, a little over 500,000 in subscriptions, a little under 500,000 in messages. And I don't understand how anybody in their right mind would think when you're DMing these OF creators that they're actually responding to you. They're copying and pasting all of these different messages and then they're going and sending it to you. It's not as if you're getting some sort of curated message that's being sent specifically to you. They'll just go and change up the name, or they'll have somebody who's a social media manager or OF, a manager that'll go and respond to said comments. You're not even actually talking to the person who you believe you paying to go and talk to. This is all evidence, or I should say information, that's out there. You have a bevy of damn OF creators who talk about this on podcasts and pretty much expose themselves. And somehow still, you got these nincompoops out here sending out a boatload amount of cash to go and line the pockets of these young ass girls, bro. And it's incredibly sad to see, because here it is, you just turned 18 and you spent the past month teasing, like go to our Instagram, you'll see it for yourself, teasing the eventual birthday for when you turn 18. Post turning 18, now you flexing, albeit, gotta take it with a grain of salt again, she's a known troll, but flexing that you now made this grandiose amount of money. You think that's not going to galvanize and encourage a bunch of girls who probably 15, 16, 17, 18 years old to go and create said accounts while they still have their youth on their side? People who are in their 19, 20, 21, 22, anything sub 25, hell, even those going towards 30. Why go to school, get a career? Why go to college, probably rack up all kinds of debt? You could just go and hop on OF. Now, albeit not a grandiose amount of them go and succeed. We all saw the statistic between 18 and 24, 10% of American women are on OF between that age range. That don't mean everybody gonna get on. There's a number of those who probably created accounts and completely failed. You may think, well, nobody will remember. This to the creators, that is. You may think, nobody will remember. I ain't really make no traction. All it takes is just one motherfucker to go and download your vote or your video or your photo, and it can mess around and circulate, whether it be on like 4chan, Reddit, Twitter. They can upload it onto the hub. All it takes is just that one person who go and download your shit. They put it out there, it go viral, and guess what? It's going to remain in circulation for years upon years upon years. It's not worth selling your soul to go and get this almighty dollar, no matter how attractive it may appear to be. And let me bring this back to Lil Tay. It's one of those situations where, again, I don't understand how any grown adult can view somebody like Lil Tay and say, you know what, I want to go and pay money to go and see explicit photo. And it's not dudes who's either teenagers who just so happen to have gotten their arms and hands on their parents' credit cards or maybe utilize their own cash to go and subscribe. It's not gonna be young adults that are probably fresh out of high school, currently in college, or maybe fresh out of college that's going and making these subscriptions. It's grown ass dudes in their 30s, dudes in their 40s, dudes in their 50s, and extended moving forward. Those predators that continue to circulate out here in the public.
Sick shit.
And let's keep in mind, remember the statistics. 1 in 10 women between the ages of 18 and 24 have an OF account, right? But of all OF users, 71% of all users on the site happen to be male. So that now begs the question, what percentage of dudes post age 18 and all the way up, no matter what the range just so happen to be, have an OnlyFans subscription? When you walking down the street, if 1 in 10 women between 18 and 24 happen to have an account, what is the percentage of dudes that happen to be a subscriber of an account? 40, 50 some percent? Go on Google. Some say 50, some say 61, some say 40. It's ridiculous, fam. And remember, it's not a situation to where it's a guarantee who you're subscribing to is posting explicit content. Because remember, OnlyFans wasn't predominantly known for sexual activity. You had musicians that were on there, artists that was on there, who simply wanted to create either content behind a paywall or possibly exclusive content that they could possibly get out there on different sort of platforms, whatever the case just so happened to be, right? In a situation where you have somebody pre-ordering, the implication or it's implied that you have her getting ready to post these explicit photos, but there's no guarantee that's what she's gonna put out. But you've able to earn $1 million in 3 hours, and it's probably at an absurd number right now because the numbers that Lil Tay posted were 3 hours. It's now been well over 24, or I should say a little under 24. The post of this video is probably gonna be over 24. So with that being known, y'all don't think that's crazy? So I'll close with this because the longer I talk about it, the more frustrated and disgusted I get. Every single one of these dudes who subscribe to her OF really need to be dealt with. And you already know there's probably those individuals who actually had an intimate relationship with her, whether it had been a teacher, a pastor, maybe not so much a co-worker, but anybody who happened to be an adult that had been in her life, who probably was watching. Because I remember, I can't tell you how many different podcast clips that I've seen circulate on X, maybe even on Instagram, where they were asking OF models, oh, what was the wildest, message that you received? Or did you recognize anybody who was a subscriber? I believe in the Lily Phillips documentary, when I made the video on that, she said she had a former teacher that was subscribed. Bonnie Blue had said she had former teachers that were going and subscribing as well. So you think that's not going to be the case with Lil Tay? You don't think that's the case with Bad Baby? You don't think that's the case with all of these different OF harlots, fam? Dudes got to do better, bro, because this falls on you. No matter how much we continue to roast these harlots for doing these courtesan, wanton wench activities, y'all dudes continue to finance them. Because let me tell you something right now. If these dudes stop supporting immediately like that, it don't matter how many accounts or how crazy the content that gets posted goes up. If you ain't supporting, there's no demand, it really don't matter what the fuck the supply supplies. It's y'all fault. Y'all continue to support this shit, hence perpetuating this fucking cycle, continuing to move forward. So it's on the dudes. It's 100% on the fucking dudes. And y'all need to be dealt with.
You will go one-on-one with The Undertaker!
Dynamic is going up for a right time!
Hey, I appreciate you watching the entire video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button on the way out if you haven't already. And on top of that, hit that notification bell as well. For whatever reason, YouTube's only showing my videos to 20% of my subscribers. So if you have already turned on the notification bell, turn it off, turn it back on. If you never turn it on, turn it on. I appreciate you.